eagles I ever knew in my life was Louise Hay. Louise Hay was a metaphysical genius. And her background story, which attracted me to her background story was very similar to my story. And what I heard Louise Hay say was, she had to take responsibility for her life. I didn't want to hear that. She had to take responsibility for the energy she was creating, not what was being created to her or for her, but what she was creating. Louise Hay taught by example that what she did was she tapped into her power of love. And she decided, and she was no spring chicken when she did that, she decided that she was tired of living in the power of pain. And she tapped into her power of love, her power of power. And she, by example, taught people how to live in the power of love. I owe that woman so much. May she rest in peace. I'm going to share a little personal story with you now. A few years ago, Larry and I went to Atlanta for a workshop, for a weekend workshop. We had just started with a new company and we were excited, and this workshop was going to teach us how to be better leaders, how to be better team players, and how to let go of those things that have been holding us back and limiting us. And I was like, oh, that sounds great. Let's go. And off we went. Well, it was all wonderful until the second day after lunch. And they handed out this paper, and face down on the table, everybody got the same paper, and the instructions were not to look at it until we were told to look at it. So then the instructor went on to say, what we're going to do, all of us, and there was probably 200 people there, what we're going to do is this is a puzzle, and we're going to give you all the time you need to solve this puzzle. So I thought, cool, I love puzzles. This is going to be a cakewalk. All right. So then the last instruction was, you can draw 2 lines only. We each had a pencil. 2 lines that would create 2 perfect squares on this page. That didn't sound too tough. So we're like, good, okay, boom. Everybody turned their papers over at once. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking, and then it felt like seconds, and 2 people stood up and he was, yep, you got it, great. And I thought, oh geez, I better look harder. And then it felt like no time at all, and a few more people stood up and were congratulating themselves on getting it right. Well, the pressure was on, so I'm just trying, looking, and I couldn't touch the paper because I didn't want to mark the wrong place. And then a whole bunch more people started standing up and congratulating themselves on being right. Oh my gosh. And then Larry nudged me and I said, don't you even try to tell me. Like, who is he, just because he's smarter than me, to embarrass me in front of all these people? Not happening. And I just kept at it and kept at it. And after I don't know how many minutes, everybody in that room was circled around me. And they were chanting my name. And they were smiling. I thought they were laughing at me. And they were, like, I got up and I ran out of that room in a full-blown anxiety attack. Larry followed me out. And he tried to console me. But I was so enraged at myself for being so stupid. I could not let it go. And I don't even know what happened right after that. I call those red outs. I used to experience them a lot. I know how I felt. And I'm sad to say it was not a new feeling. So I'm not sure how long it took me to calm down, but I swore I could not go back into that room. There was no way I was going back into that room. Finally, the instructor came over and he said, "Kathy, I don't want you to miss this message." And I sucked it up and I went back in the room. And everybody was so kind and so loving. And what I found out was that test had nothing to do with intelligence. It had nothing to do with the puzzle. The test was to see how apt you were to ask for help. Do any of you allow your memories to hold that kind of weight in your life? Your memories of being unlovable or inadequate? Wow. I had to take responsibility for the energy I was creating. I so didn't want it to be me. I wanted it to be you. So that was quite a turning point in my life, and I had to make a decision not to let that take me down. I had to. I became willing to go within to find out how and why I had created this energy in my life. As all our spiritual teachers teach, the truth lies within. Well, I also have a spiritual saying that's a little more like me, and that is, the truth shall set you free, but first it shall piss you off. Let me close with a reading from Lessons in Truth by Emily Cady, who I absolutely adore. She doesn't look too adorable, but she also was a metaphysical genius. I heard an uneducated woman speak in a most orthodox prayer meeting some time ago. She knew no more of religious science than a babe knows of Latin. Her face, however, was radiant. She had been earnestly seeking to know more of God. And one day she asked that some special word of God's might be given directly to her as a sort of private message. These words flashed into her mind. "If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. No man can serve two masters." And that's from Matthew 6:22. She had read these words many times, but that day they were illumined by Spirit, and she saw that to have an eye single meant seeing but one power in her life, while she saw two powers, God and the devil, or good and evil. She was serving two masters. From that day to this, though she had passed through poverty, illness in her family, an intemperate husband, she found always the most marvelous deliverance. This woman, who had never heard of any science or metaphysical teaching or laws of mind, was overcoming the tribulations of the world by positively refusing to have anything but a single eye. She had been taught in a single day by Infinite Spirit the whole secret of how to banish evil thought and have only good and joy in her life. Now, isn't that very simple? Are you and I, with all our boasted knowledge, still serving two masters? Keep in mind that each living person in all God's universe is a radiating center of light. If you have become conscious of this radiation in yourself, keep your thoughts centered right there, and the Spirit of the living God will radiate from you in all directions with mighty power, doing without noise or words a great work in lifting others up. If you want to help others, I love this. If you want to help others who are not yet awakened to this knowledge, Center your thoughts on this same idea of them, that they are radiating centers of the all-perfect. Keep your eyes single for them, as did the uneducated woman for herself. And Spirit will teach them more in a day than you could in years. Wow. Ask in prayer. Spend your time in prayer each day and the silence. And ask in prayer to become fully conscious in your identification with memories and learnings that are not true, that were brought to you by the most well-meaning mentors, but you know they're not true. Be willing to go within. I have read the following affirmation every day since January 19, and I got it right out of that glass bowl out in the foyer. My power is my willingness to say yes to that which is calling me to be greater than I could have ever imagined. That just sparks the fire in me that won't go out. We don't need to protect ourselves anymore. That's all unnecessary when you commit your power to creating a life of loving, of life, and truth. It becomes very uncomplicated. You don't have to be an intellectual, remember? The hoop you have to jump through is much larger than you think. Please don't die a chicken. Be the eagle. Let's take this into meditation. As you relax into your chair and take a couple of deep breaths, as we know to do, to come to this place, I'd like you to know that the music accompanying our meditation today is by one of our most amazing conscious music eagles, Mr. Paul Liftonacre. His decision to soar creates raised consciousness globally. We are so blessed that he said yes to his calling. Sweet Spirit, let the illusions from old memories that hold us back disappear now. Let me have new energy. Let me have a new sense of purpose. Let me know that I am on this earth to serve. Let me not feel guilty about the expression of my power. Let me no longer play small, regardless of other people's reactions to me when I play big. I am willing to receive an expanded sense of spiritual power. Cast out all negative thoughts in my mind. May I manifest a future unlike the past for myself and for others. For I now open my mind to possibilities I have not dreamed of, to forces of life I have not allowed in, and to realms of joy I have hardly imagined. I let go. I release everything that blocks me in this time of awakening from my past, from my present, and from my future. May I awaken from the dream of my inadequate self. May I soar with the eagles. May I express my power as loving words, thoughts, and actions. May my eye be single. I affirm one power in the universe and in my life. God the good. And now I see myself soaring like an eagle. So easy. It's so powerful. Take your vision, and when we have the silence, we'll take a few moments to see what our individual spiritual power looks like. And let's hold that vision and that dream and make it real. My power is my willingness to say yes to that which is calling me to be greater than I could have ever imagined. So we let it be, and so it is.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
Thank you, Catherine, for that terrific message. Don't let those chickens get you down. I worked on my uncle's chicken farm for a year. Okay, now it's time for giving and receiving of tithes and offerings. Our unity principles teach us we are one with God, Source. And so we give not to Source, but as Source. Giving has been described as a spiritual practice of radical generosity, insofar as the intent is to be an extension of spirit, tithing to what we wish to see flourish. Tithing as Source is God in expression. At the back of the sanctuary, you will find intention cards. These may also be placed in the offering bag. This week, our prayer angels will uphold your intentions for what you want to achieve. either as a plan for your day or for your life. Now let us affirm our prosperity together by singing our offering blessing.
Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and so it is. Well, Kathy Breau called me the other night and said, what are you doing? I said, not very much. She said, what are you doing on Sunday? What do you mean? I said, well, I'm doing a speech about memories, or not speech, I'm doing a message, sharing a message about memories and so on. I wondered if any of your songs are going to sort of fit into that theme. I said, well, as it happens, we've been working on a new piece of unity music. So here's a new, brand new unity song that we hope will work with Kathy's message. It's about the importance of remembering the good memories and kicking the bad ones to the curb, because who needs them? We'll see how this, we've not played this before, but before this morning, a little earlier. Let's see what happens. Okay. Memories are not always what they seem. Were we ever that angry or quite that serene? Memories are the shades of passing time. They may be sad or maybe wonderful. They are yours and they are mine. We can't change the past, we can't change what's happened. That's just how reality is, we all say. But we can change the way that we recall the things today, and for sadness just chase it away. Memories, they try to bring us down. They try to cast a shadow over the future ground. Memories, strong as we believe, choose to seize the good ones, the bad ones you can leave. We can't change the past, we can't change what's happened. That's how reality is, we all say. But we can change the way we recall the things today, and for sadness we can chase it away. Memories are the last things we will say when the thrill of life is passing into shade. Memories should be at our beck and call, but we don't ever need them all. Make it the good ones you recall. We can't change the past, we can't change what happened. just how reality is, we all say. But we can change the way we recall the past today. And for sadness, we'll just chase it away. Good memories come with no regrets. Let good ones lead you, and forget about the rest. Memories, like the bad ones from the slate. Let the good ones please you, who taste the bad ones far away. Memories.
With grateful hearts, we accept these gifts that will enrich our presence in this community, the Unity community and beyond. And we are forever grateful, from our hearts to yours and from your hearts to ours. Amen. And now let us stand and sing the peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let's walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with thee. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with thee.
Today as we leave, as all of us soar as eagles, as we allow our spirit to guide us from within, we are soaring and we are love. Amen. And now for the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Yay, God!
There was a time in my life, thought I'd have to do it all for myself. Even though the grace of God was sufficient, even though the love of God was in hand, now I can say you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day. You gotta let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide, 'cause I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. My faith light. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit, 'cause I'm only for God.
No, not spiritual.